Hey guys, just got a quick one for you. This video is a rundown on the techniques I use to encourage cod to take my lure. Now, I'm not going to say these are the way to get cod to take your lure. I'm not going to say I'm an expert and no one else knows what they're on about. This video shows the ways through trial and error that I have found that I think work best to get cod to take your lure. It's what I've learned in my time fishing. A lot of that has come from my trial and error, but a lot of it has also come from watching other guys. So I'm just going to run through these lures quickly now and a quick chat about each of them, and hopefully it helps you out with some fish. The Trusty Collection. Now, I'm going to just cover the basics here. I'm not going to go through every cod lure you can find on the market. I'm literally just going to cover the main categories of lure. So in here we have spinner baits and chatterbaits. And these chatterbaits and spinner baits, they're the same, right? You fish them the same. So sometimes this will work. Sometimes one of these will work a little bit better than a spinner, the other, or vice versa. But the idea is to get that down there. There's no point casting that out, whipping it across the top of the water, and having the lure fish in the top foot of water. If you're going to do that, put a swim bait on or a wake bait on or a surface lure. What's the point? These are for when the fish are down sitting under their log. So you want to cast that out and let it sink. Now, I generally try and cast it out to a stump and let it drop down by leaving my spool open so it pulls down straight. So it comes down instead of having the line drag it back on an arc so it's actually away from the stump. So let it drop straight down. The other method is, if you've got a log, a lay down or whatever, cast it out past, let it sink, and then bring it back beside the log to keep it down there. And I find slow, a nice slow roll, just have that blades working, just have the bib working. That's the best way to get the attention of a cod, and throw in a few pauses, right? Fish don't just sit at a constant speed when they're swimming around. Baits don't sit at a constant speed, and that's what you're trying to mimic. So give it a slow roll, maybe give it a flick, lift it up, let it drop, pause, slow roll, flick, drop, repeat. But the number one point with them is get them down in the water column when you're chasing cod. Get them down to the snags, get them down to where the fish are, because otherwise they're not going to work. Surface. No, everyone's favourite. When you are fishing surface lures, you need to change it up. You cannot just throw your surface lure out there and wind it back, and then throw it out there and wind it back, and throw it out there and wind it back. And if you're retrieving it that fast, it's also too fast. Your lure needs to be along the top, making a wake, giving off its presence. But the way I like to do this is cast it, let it hit the water, give it 2 quick flicks of the rod, let the cod know it's there, let it pause. It's fallen in the water and it's made a commotion just like a bait would. Falls in, it's paused, it's got its breath, then it goes, pauses, off you go again, pause again, give it a couple of quick whips, it's been scared and it's trying to get away, right? Mix it up so that it looks like something that's swimming on the surface, because that's the whole point. A cod, it's taking your lure because it thinks it's something to eat. It's not taking your lure because it thinks it's a pretty lure. Alright, and Tegan's going to hate to hear that because she purchases lures solely because they're pretty. But these work because the cod thinks it's a rat, it's a mouse, it's a bird that's fallen in the water, it's a lizard or it's a snake. You need to make it look like one. Pause, quick retrieve, pause, steady pace. When I say quick retrieve, I mean quick bursts. Don't retrieve it across the water like it's some sort of subsonic bullet. It needs to come along slowly. Alright? That is simple It's easy. These are all easy things to do with a surface lure. It's simple, it's straightforward, but you need to do it. You need to make sure that you mix it up. If you throw it out there and whip it back over and over and over again, don't come and tell me or go telling other people that surface lures are crap and they don't work. You need to fish the lure. You can't just expect the lure to do the job for you. You need to fish it. Pause. And especially when you get hit, guys, when you get hit with a surface lure, pause. Do not panic and wind in quick to have another cast. Because if the fish has a go and misses your lure, and generally it misses your lure for a few reasons, it's not quite dark enough yet and it's shy, or you've got too much tension on your line, and when the fish tries to suck it in, your line pulls it away. Now that's an important point. I find turning my rod side on, so side on, not so it's straight. If it's straight like this and a cod pulls, your rod just doesn't have much give, and your lure doesn't suck into the cod's mouth. If you hold your rod side on and a cod tries to suck it in, you've got that give from the rod, and that can be the difference between a surface lure getting sucked in and not getting sucked in, and you getting hooked up and getting the fish. Alright, so hold your rod side on, hold it tight, but allow it to move, and if you get a strike, pause your lure, let it sit there 5 seconds, 10 seconds, give it a with a rod, just so the lure, this one's easier to move, I'm not talking give it a so lure and says to the cod, I'm still here and I'm injured, you've injured me, come back and get me. No, pause. You know, you've gone half a metre max, because that's where the cod hit the bait, that's where the cod knows the bait is. Alright, that's important. So seriously guys, if you get hit, pause, a few flicks, pause again, a few flicks, slow move, pause. It's all about the pause. Now the idea with moving it up and down and pausing with your surface lure when it's out there is it hits the water and it goes, and you pause, and the cod's looking at it and goes, oh, that's an easy target, but I'm not really hungry. If you give that a something inside the cod snaps and it goes, oh, it's going to get away, chomp. Right, that's why you mix it up. You're trying to entice the strike. That's now divers, out of all the lures on the market, no, they catch things. Look at that, they just catch everything. Crazy. Out of all the lures on the market, divers are the simplest. They really just do your job. They do the job. You cast it out there and you wind it. It does this and it does this. Hence dive. Hence diver, right? So the thing is, you need to understand this does this. It doesn't do this. Right? So if you're fishing at this log, which is a tackle box, that's the end of the log, there's no point casting your lure to here and winding it. Just let me, hold on. You're fishing at the tackle box, there's no point casting this here and then going, oh look, it's got down to depth all the way over here and it's nowhere near the cod. You need to cast this over here. Bang, you're on, right? So pretty much adjusting your retrieve rates. Slow it up, speed it down. But the other thing is with a buoyant lure is you can pause. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Sometimes, bang, that's when you get hit, alright? So my advice for nearly any lure is the same. Mix it up, right? You don't just want to do the same thing over and over again. You really need to swap what you're doing. But these things are the most basic. When you tow them, they do that and they dive. So it's placement. Place it past. Place it past. Don't aim it at. Place it past. So when it dives down, it's down in the zone. You can do that with a spinnerbait. Let it sink down. Just remember when you're retrieving a spinnerbait, instead of doing this, it's doing this. Okay? So if you cast out there, slow retrieve so it stays down with the spinnerbait. This thing, throw it out there, wind it down. Sometimes crank it and then slow it down. Alright, mix it up. Pretty simple. That technique applies to all of them hard bodies. Right, hard bodies, not the surface lure that's in there. Don't go getting that mixed up. Right, so they're the three main categories that I fish with, and I think that's covered pretty much everything for you guys. Don't give up on a lure until you've tried a few methods. Mix it up. So guys, that's it. I can't do much more for you than that. Hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully you get out there and catch some cod, and more hopefully I get out there and catch some cod, because I've literally hardly chased any. I'm on the board with one little one for the season. I do have footage of that, so I'm going to bang that on here instead of making a separate video with that. But yeah, I need to get out and chase some more, and hopefully you guys get out and chase some. And don't forget guys, send your pictures into us at Murray Crab Fishing on Facebook and Instagram. We'll share them as well, get some people out there liking your photos, and hit like, hit subscribe, follow us, do all that sort of stuff, and share us around if you can. It helps us out a lot, and it really encourages us to make more videos, and hopefully that's what you want. Hopefully you want more videos. So yeah, enjoy this little clip of this fish where I snapped a rod and caught a fish, and tight lines. This is insane. Oof, oof. And she's still on there, but this current is making it awfully hard. Look at that. Woo! I knew that'd be a spot. Now, snapped rod, the rod tip on the end of the lure. I've got him off. One good look at him. And see you later, mate. He's done.